Zelete, thank you for your love and support. I appreciate you all. The black man is capable of managing his own affairs, and this is proven by the leaders in Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso. Something great has just happened in the Sahel, and this can only happen in the Sahel because those in the democratic elected always prefer to bow to oppressor than to stand firm for the people in Africa. Back in 2025, a French spy allegedly was arrested and sentenced to prison this year, 20 good years, for trying to destabilize the people in Mali. According to our all-in-all, the savior, the protector, the unifier, the messiah, the king of kings, the most loved, General Assimi Goïta, this man was part of the people who were trying to cause a coup in order to throw our all-in-all General Assimi Goïta out of power so they can bring in a puppet leader that will give them the chance to continue to take the gold and all the resources that they used to get free in Mali. You know, when these our leaders came into office, they decided to sack all the French troops, cut ties with the traditional Western partners, because all these years that we have been with them, we haven't seen anything good out of this relationship. It has always been win-lose on the part of the African. So they decided to move towards another part, which is Russia. And that didn't go down well with them. So they have to send this man allegedly into Mali to cause the destabilization, orchestrated all the plans and the coup, but nothing happened. Finally, he was arrested and sentenced to prison. Then they told us this man is innocent, he is a diplomatic whatever, but at the end of the day, when our all-in-alls looked into the matter, the evidence crippled him. And he came into Mali to do this alongside some Malian people that he succeeded in recruiting. After he was sentenced to 20 years in prison, the report came that he has been released for exchange of 82 Malian soldiers. So the deal was, he has to be released. According to reports, they have to contact some neighboring countries, but which we don't know whether it is Algeria or Morocco. Nobody knows. And the deal was they wanted this man to be released. But our all-in-all General Assimi Goïta said, if you want this, your one person to be released, you need to release our soldiers that have been kept captive. So 82 Malian soldiers have been released in exchange for this one person. It means that this person is very important to the people.
This is wonderful. Mali has just played a masterful chess move against the terrorists and their sponsors, by the way. If you guys remember that back in 2025, a French citizen, a French spy was arrested in Mali for trying to destabilize the country, for trying to orchestrate a coup d'etat against Assimi Goïta's government, by the way. Because Assimi Goïta kicked the French forces out, France is not getting free gold anymore from Mali. And for that reason, they are working so hard trying to do a coup d'etat to install a puppet leaders like the way they have been doing it around the African continent, like the way they have been unaliving our great leaders in Congo, Burkina Faso, and the list goes on. In Guinea, the list goes on around the African countries. So now the government of France wants their spy, wants their citizen to be released from Mali. But there is no other way because he was sentenced to 20 years in prison for being a spy in Mali. Now, few days ago, the French negotiated with a second country somewhere, a friendlier country. So that country reached out to Mali by saying that, hey, you know what? Your soldiers are going to be released. In exchange, you are going to release the French citizen, the French spy that has been sentenced to 20 years in prison in Mali. You see, this is one of the reasons Mali was able to keep this French spy in Malian prisons, because they know that a day will come. These people are very powerful, especially if you have countries around you who are all working to destroy you. Algeria, Mauritania, these are countries that are being used by big powers, big brothers like France to sponsor these T groups, by the way, to give them weapons to go and terrorize Mali. Mali knew that this day will come, and now we have seen it a few days ago. They contacted that friendlier country. We might not yet whether it was Morocco or Algeria, either way. And that country contacted the Malian authorities that they want the French spy to be released, like to be, released from prison to go back to France. Mali is like, fine, but we are also going to get our soldiers back. And yes, that is how it was done. So 82 Malian soldiers have been released in exchange for this one French spy. This is a great move. This is a great chess move by the Malian government. This is why having a great leadership is always great. Leaders who think, leaders who are there to bring solutions for the African problems. Not like in Nigeria, Senegal, and other countries. If this was in Nigeria, this French spy will not spend one day in prison. If this was in Senegal, he will not spend a single day in prison. If this was in so many other African countries, he is not going to spend even a single day in prison. But trying to orchestrate a coup d'etat, we have also seen it not long ago that, that was like a few years ago. Few soldiers were being arrested in the Democratic Republic of Congo. They were spies, by the way, with guns, not far from the presidential palace. They were being released. They were in fact having fake IDs to be Russians, by the way. It turns out that they were French citizens. Could you imagine? Only God knows what these people are doing on the continent in Africa. Things that we might not know. Like we might never knew, by the way. But yeah, 82 Malian soldiers were being released. And this one French spy has also been released. This is a great chess move by the government of Mali. Viva Mali and Viva AES. Let me know in the comments what do you guys think, please.
If this should have happened in any of the democratically elected countries, we know very well that nothing will happen. That is why always they come into Africa, do whatever they want and go scot-free. Because at the end of the day, they always tell us that their people must be sent back home to be tried. And when this man was even arrested, that was what they were demanding for, that he must be sent back to France so they'll go through whatever. If he's found guilty, he will then be sentenced. I showed you when a Frenchman came out and said the best thing the Malian authority did was to sentence this man to prison, because if he should have been sent back home to France, this man will go scot-free. Nothing will happen to him. So the best thing is Africa to start also doing the same thing that people do to us. When we Africans move out of the continent and go to any other place and commit a crime or whatever, they don't consult African leaders on our soil. They make their laws to be applied on us. But why is it that whenever these people come into the continent and do anything in Africa, then you hear they cannot be touched? They must be sent back home. That's why they have their military bases. Like one time, Junior Kwesi Pratt was saying that even to the point that these American troops that are on the soil of Ghana, when they commit any crime, nothing happens to them. They can do anything. They can enter here. Nobody can search them. Even where they are, the president, like you have limitation on your own soil, yet you are the head of state. This is what we have been facing as a people for all these years. And for how long will this continue? So keeping this man, all in all, General Assimi Goita knew very well that a day will come that this man will be used to the benefit of Mali. Somebody was sent allegedly to destabilize a country, and 82 defenders of their country were captured. Now, that one person who came into Mali to destabilize the country has been released in exchange for 82 defenders. This is a great move, and this can only happen in the Sahel states, where we have leaders who can stand their ground, who can look the oppressor into the eye and tell them what's supposed to be said. Unlike what we have been seeing in the democratically elected, whereby when they even come here and do anything they want, nothing happens. It's as if our laws are only applicable on the citizens. And if we continue to be doing this to ourselves, nobody will ever respect the African. Nobody will ever respect the African. And we need leaders like Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso. If our leaders don't stand up and start applying our laws on them just like they do to us, will continue to be this way. We need leaders who are bold, who are courageous, who are strong to face these people. And that is the only time the African can gain his or her own independence and freedom. Because with what we have and we claim it is independence, it's just on paper. We are not seeing the real independence where we cannot even apply our laws on people who enter our continent and violate them. Why should they be sent back to their home countries for trial? Look at the bold step that General Assimi Goïta took. Keeping this man, he knows very well that this man is so important to them. And for that matter, a day will come, he will be useful for us. And this will benefit us and not them. And that has happened. We hope the other ones are watching. Because if this should have happened in any part of the democratic elected countries, I am telling you, nothing would have happened. This man would have gone back home. We wouldn't have even heard about this. Because they will always do everything possible in their power to think about their relationship. Like one time, one member of parliament in Namibia was saying that why do we always think about the relationship between us and them? So when their citizens even come here and do something, we don't do nothing. All that we say is we don't want the relationship between us and that country to go this way, to go that way. It is time for our leaders to start thinking about us. Like Julius Maada Bio said, they protect borders instead of protecting us the people. So the time has come for our leaders to start protecting us the people instead of protecting the borders. We are the only ones that can set ourselves free. United we stand, divided we fall, and united we keep standing forever and ever. The greatest enemy of the African is mental slavery. So let's decolonize ourselves from mental slavery. Let's keep sharing to educate our brothers and sisters. Together we'll make Africa great for ourselves and the next generations that are going to come. So that's the latest around the world in Africa, West Africa, and in Mali.